Hey, welcome to another episode of Decide, Commit, Resolve. And I am your host, Bruce Mosley. Guys, I am super excited about this particular podcast because I got an amazing group on the show today. Listen, words can't explain the anticipation for this particular podcast because we got some guys here who are ready to bring you some amazing info. And most importantly, these are a good, strong, black, and I got to say that, I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but a good, strong, black group of young men and ladies who are truly inspiring people to step out and do what God has called them to do. So I'm so grateful to have you guys on the show. So I like to introduce everybody in my own special way, and everybody knows how I like to do. So I will introduce them like this. I introduce to you the Grand Poobah, AKA CEO of Power Capital Group, Harold Jackson III. Give Harold a round of applause. Thank you. Next, I introduce to you Mr. Serial Entrepreneur, AKA the President of Power Capital Group, Jovan Dungy. Let's give Jovan a hand of applause. Our next person we'd like to introduce, we introduce to you the Prestone Oil of the group, the one who keeps the wheels running smoothly. With all the schedules, I give you Hafiza Touré. I got it right? All right. So next, I would like to introduce to you the corporate counsel for the Power Capital Group, AKA the Pitbull, AKA the Schnauzer. You won't see him coming, guys. Give him a hand of applause. We give you Marcus Clinton, y'all. Last, but definitely not least, I introduce to you Mr. Ear to the Ground, Mr. Interdimensional Connected. I give you the Vice President of the Power Capital Group, Shaman Autumn. Give him a round of applause. So guys, I hope you guys really appreciate that introduction. I do everybody like that. Once I get a little bit of information, we gonna just run with it and have a good time with it. So guys, thank you for coming on the show. How are you all doing?
Excellent.
Great.
Good, man. Listen, like I said, I was speaking a little earlier. It's been a long time coming. I've been waiting for this one, and I am truly blessed to have you guys on here. So, our topic today is the power of Black entrepreneurship. The power of Black entrepreneurship. So, this question is for everybody. What are some of the struggles of becoming and maintaining entrepreneurship individually and collectively?
Jovan, you want to answer that one?
Sure. So I'll jump in first. Well, some of the issues that just general entrepreneurs have is dealing with different personalities. As you know, when you put a group of people from any walk of life into this kind of setting, personalities make it, they make all the difference.
Yeah.
You can't have a bunch of chiefs and no Indians. You can't have a bunch of Indians and no chiefs. You have to have structure. And so, figuring out how that works, how that looks, making sure that you cater to everyone's strengths and, being able to be flexible and adaptable on the fly.
Yeah.
And you have to have a true mentality that no job is too small or big for you. Yeah. You have to embrace change. You have to embrace leadership, and you have to have a vision. And once that vision is cast, you have to have everyone on board with following that vision. Yeah. So I think that's one of the most important things with entrepreneurship.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think you can't be an entrepreneur without personal growth and development. And I think faith plays a role in that. I know, you spoke earlier about just following your calling and really truly understanding God's purpose for you. But in doing so, it's going to push you to grow and develop. There are aspects, this is an ever learning thing. It doesn't matter what industry you're in or what product you're sharing with individuals. you have to do the work on yourself to have the faith and belief and confidence to get out there and to continue to push forward when things are going well and when things are a little rocky. So that plays a significant role in success in anything, just to have that commitment, that faith, and to continue to grow yourself. So,
Anybody else?
That's true. And just to tie on to what Afiza said and Javon said, you have to be adaptable. You have to be able to make moves when things go good, like she said, and make moves when things go bad. So just everyone being on the same page, and like Javon said, once the vision is there, and you just move forward once that happens.
Simon, Clifton, Marcus, you guys got any insight on that?
Yeah, I would say, and a lot of entrepreneurs would say this, is capital. Making sure that you have the right capital in place, making sure that you know where capital sources are, so that you can run your business. In addition to, and piggybacking on what everybody else said about the personalities and being able to mesh together. If you have a team that doesn't get along in the right way and don't know their roles, you end up having issues in all conversations and decision-making processes. And that's a mixture for disaster. So yeah, I would definitely piggyback on what they said, but capital is an important thing also.
Good point. Brother Jamon. You're muted, Jamon.
You're mute.
All right, you guys hear me?
yes.
Yeah.
There we go. So first of all, I'm going to say my last name is Antrim and not Autumn.
Thank you, Jamon.
But thank you. Antrim.
Oh, and I'm
And
flipping.
so for me, I think being honest and being truthful and having integrity and not being afraid to like speak the truth and being able to confront those issues is also important, because like I heard someone say, every day is not going to be beautiful. Every day is not going to be the same. You're going to have challenges, but if you guys are all on the same page and you guys have one goal in common, and that's to win, the team is very important. And I think that's what we have here. Everyone here has integrity. They're honest, they're truthful, and we all want to see each other win. So if individuals want to win, then the team can come together collectively, and now that puts everyone on the same page organically. So
great point. Thank you. So
yep.
These two questions are for, these two questions are for Harold. So Harold, what is Power Capital Group? How and why did you guys start the company?
Okay, Power Capital Group is a EPC aggregate management group. So what that means is it's a solar company that actually is multiple solar companies in one. So we're like the core of multiple solar companies, making us having the ability to do solar all through the country. We're the first of anyone to do it. We're 100% Black owned, and basically, if someone needs a solar system in California, we can do it. If someone needs a solar system in South Carolina, we can do it. If someone needs it in Chicago, we could do it. That's how we built the company. That's how we structured it, because we didn't want to be placed in a box per se. So what's happening with solar companies right now, that they may be licensed in Virginia, but they're not licensed in South Carolina. So it limits their ability to scale. What we've done is we gave the ability to scale on all levels, in all cities and all states. We're able to do that. And that's why we formed Power Capital Group.
Okay. So if I need some solar power, if I need to go solar, all I got to do is say, Jovan, I need solar for free, and Harold gonna get it for me for free. Are you saying that right? Am I saying that right?
right. That's right. If you need solar in South Carolina, your mama needs solar in Florida. We gonna take care of you and your mom.
No, but you missed what I said. I said for free. Just play it, guys. Just play it.
It's on the state.
Just play
But
it.
we for this show, you know, if you get 1 million views, we definitely got you, brother. We definitely.
No doubt, man. No doubt. No doubt. So thank you, Brother Harold, for that. So these next two questions are for Efiza. Why is solar power not widely used?
I think there's a lot of it has to do with education and accessibility. A lot of people don't understand solar. They don't understand the benefits of solar. In the last, 10 years or so, with some people's experience with solar, it hasn't necessarily been good, but it's a growing industry. So there's a lot of misinformation that might be deterring people from making that decision, and accessibility. So if we think back, over the last 20 years, just the cost of solar alone may have priced a lot of people out. But now with the technology and the evolution of solar, the panels are easier to make and less expensive to make. So now it's more accessible. Now you can have solar panels on your roof and it be economical, where you're saving because you're generating your own energy, and you're also, able to, finance it or even pay for it up front. And then depending on your area, there's so much legislation in place that is making solar more attractive. There's tax grants and incentives and things of that nature, so that people are really finding out more about solar, understanding the benefits, and actually having it installed. So I think it's still something that's very new. I think that's part of what it is that we're doing, is really educating people on what solar is and the value of it, from a residential standpoint, from a commercial standpoint. So like if you have people, who are part of a congregation, how can your church benefit from this, as well as being a homeowner? If you have land, I know y'all are in South Carolina, I'm in North Carolina, you got family land, how can that, benefit from solar? So there's so much information that we don't know about, especially in communities of color, as to how you can benefit, how it can be an additional stream of income for your family, in addition to maybe saving you money from a energy standpoint for your home on a month-to-month basis. So I think education and accessibility have been the main barriers to why people aren't utilizing solar, but it is the future. It's not going anywhere. It's mandated. So you're going to see a lot more solar. So now is the time to be able to get in and take advantage of it from a financial standpoint.
And I'm glad you brought that point up, because when I was younger, when I would go through certain neighborhoods, we would see solar there. And when you talk about the accessibility,
Right.
never was seen in the neighborhoods of color. So for it to be at a place where it's more accessible now, and that you guys are really putting out more information about it, I think that is so key. So key. So next question, Hafiza, how can going solar save money?
Right. So basically, you're cutting out the middleman with going solar. The equipment is allowing you to generate your own energy from the sun, and it's offsetting the cost that you're paying to whoever your local energy company is. So that's the value. And again, we spoke about the incentives that are in place to make it affordable, and depending on what part of the region. And that's why I would really encourage the audience to get in touch with us, because there's not a cookie cutter answer that just covers everything. It definitely is customized. We have the ability to, from certain information you provide to us, that we can customize that information to actually visualize what your savings are going to be and how beneficial this can be to you and your family, or to you and your business. So there's significant savings. Again, this is an opportune time because there's legislation in place that is even adding more incentives to going solar. And again, depending on the part of the country that you're in, there might even be more, and it could actually be you producing more energy than you need and being able to sell it back to the energy companies. So
Wow.
It could be an additional stream of income. But again, people don't really understand solar or know some of the benefits of solar to be able to make that assessment. So I would definitely encourage, anyone listening to reach out to us, whether it's, personal for your home, or if it's for business or for your place of worship. We could definitely give you a more custom understanding of what the saving solar can be.
Wow. So viewers out there, listen, we want to make sure that you understand that Power Capital Group has the answers that you are looking for when it comes to solar. Please, please, please. And at the end of this podcast, we're going to make sure that they have their contact information so you can reach them. It's so important and it's real. And from what I just heard, and I know I understand it correctly, there is ways you can make money doing solar. So guys, listen, we got to tap in. We got to tap in. So these next two questions are for Marcus. Marcus, why is solar power the best energy source?
That's a great. Solar energy is the best energy source for several reasons. Solar has going forward like several things. One of the biggest benefits of solar power is that it's renewable, right? You don't have to go out and dig any holes. You don't have to go out and drill for solar power. It comes from the sun. It never runs out. It's always available, and it's always available anywhere. It's the world out here that we're running off of all these fossil fuels that are finite. We're gonna run out of those at some point.
Yeah.
Better off us to get off of those and lower the emissions and save our planet, right? Other things that when you invest in a solar system, you don't have to really worry about maintenance that much, right? So when you think about other forms of renewable energy like wind power, you have a turbine, you have something turning all the time, you have moving parts, and you got to worry about maintenance. You got to worry about making sure that those moving parts are lubricated, right? With solar, you don't have those issues. You don't have to worry about that turbine wearing out. You have the solar system put on and you sit back and collect your energy.
Wow.
The other thing is the independence of it, right? So once you get solar power, then you can kind of step away from your electric company a little bit, in the sense that you don't have to pay those rates that they're charging you. You're creating your own energy from the solar. So you kind of build a bit of independence from that. When the electric company raises your bill, what do? You can't go down the street to the other electric company because they down there too. So you have to deal with that and pay for it, right?
Yeah.
So though that's kind of the way that you want to look at solar and the benefits that it applies to you, right? Once you install your system, you ready to go and you just run it. And as Hafiza said, there are ways if you have a solar system and you're creating more power than you need, you end up potentially being able to sell that back to the electric company and make money off of that. So instead of cutting a check, you're getting a check.
Wow. So really that answered the next question about the financial benefits of solar energy. So are there any other financial benefits that you can talk about?
Well, when we talk about solar, we talk about lowering your electricity rate, right? And that's what happens when you get solar. There are some times where, depending on the size of your roof and what you can put on your roof, you may not necessarily get 100% of coverage for your bill, but would you rather pay, 10% of that $160 bill that you normally pay, or the whole 100% if you've got 90% of your energy needs covered through the solar?
Yeah.
So it lowers your energy rates. It helps with the environment. I mean, it's a win-win situation.
Lowering the energy rates helps with the environment. Viewers, I mean, we can't beat that. And then plus looking at the potential of making some money. I don't know who don't want to make money. You know what I'm saying? I want to make money. So Jovan, listen, I need some solar panels and I need them today. I need to make some money.
Got it, sir. Least I can do. Matter of fact, we can put solar panels on your hat. And then we should be making money as well.
Hey, we could do it like that. So Marcus, thank you so much. These next two questions are for Jovan. If someone were to go solar, how would that impact their property value?
Good question. So there are two ways to go solar. You could either lease the equipment that goes on your roof, or you could purchase it, what's called a PPA, a power purchase agreement. And if you look at all the studies, the studies show that when you purchase the equipment, at least from your home value, it goes up exponentially, but because that's an added feature. And some studies say that it even increases more than doing a kitchen remodel.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's one of the many areas that solar can, enhance and improve your value. Now, even though that's from the residential side, we also specialize in the commercial side.
Mm-hmm.
So we see a lot of bills that are $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Now, could you imagine if you are a business owner, let's just say BMW or Michelin, someplace local to us, Bruce, where they're spending God knows how much they're spending on their power bills to generate a plant on a 24-hour basis.
Yes.
So could you imagine cutting that bill from, let's say, $50,000 a month to potentially $10,000 a month? That impacts the bottom line. And I know you're talking about specifically from the addition on how you increase the value of your home, but that definitely increases the value of your home if you can go and say, look, this property based on square footage, you would normally pay $300 a month on an energy bill, but when you buy this house, you can show them the receipts. I'm only paying $30 a month, where I used to pay $300 a month, because the offset that this solar provides. So that's an increase. These solar installations and the solar panels, they last for 25 years.
Wow.
So you do the math on that. If you're offsetting 90% of your electric bill and you're able to put that to good use, that's how you build generational wealth.
Yes. So is there, so like if you have a house that's roughly 2,500 square foot and you want to get panels, how big would the panel system be on the roof? I mean, because you see so many different, variations of solar panels on people's roofs or whatever.
Yeah, so what we do is we ask you to submit the last 12 months of your electric bills.
Okay.
We send them to our engineering team, who does what's called a helioscope. Mm-hmm. And they'll see because basically it's you have to take into account where the sun is or how much exposure, your roof. Do you have big trees in your yard that covers your roof? Do you have, is your house south facing, or you want to get a lot of exposure from the sun to your roof? So they'll do a drawing, mm-hmm. and they'll do a breakdown to see how much sun will be able to hit your roof and how much sun will be able to hit the actual panels to generate the power. Like Hafisa said, there's no one specific cookie cutter answer I can give you. Everything is on a case-by-case basis, and our team would love to be able to help those people out from a commercial standpoint. Business owners, people who work in the finance departments, who are trying to find ways to cut back during these COVID times.
Yes.
How can we help the company budget and the bottom line, or for those people who just are simple, just own homes and simply are tired of being at the mercy of their energy companies, not knowing one month where they're going to pay a bill for $200 or the next month it's going to be, $150. Mm-hmm. They just have no idea. You have a set payment with a small fractional incremental raise, annual raise of your rate over a 25-year period, but it's not like the dramatic jumps you see where like I said, 1 month you're paying $1,000 because you're a business owner. Next month you're paying $5,000, and you're at the mercy of whatever they tell you the bill is.
Gotcha.
So that's how I would answer that.
I mean, and that's good information. So viewers, I hope you guys hear that. There are so many benefits, so many good things that we're hearing today about going solar. And Joanne, you pretty much answered the next question about will you still have an electric bill? So you're saying it'll be at a fraction of what you would normally get.
Yeah, generally that's how it works. And you can have the battery backups that you could put inside your home or your commercial building that could store some of the energy for later use. But you will definitely see a decrease in what you're currently paying. I also wanted to add too that we also have a arm of our company that provides LED lighting.
Okay.
So if you get the solar and the LED lighting, you can see upward. Some of our clients pay no bill.
Now that's good.
Right.
So wow. So viewers, I hope you get this. This is so much good information. These next two questions are for Shaman. So Shaman, what happens if I sell my solar house?
So that's a very good question. So if you sell your house, actually having solar on your house increases the value when it comes to selling it because you own the system. So it's almost like, we compare it to like buying a car or leasing a car. When you lease a car, you don't own it. When you buy a car, you own it. When you buy the system, you own it. So when you go to sell it, it increases the value. So the new owner will just take over the ownership, and they will still have, maybe depending on how long the individual lived there, they still have that much life left on the systems. So it becomes a much easier process to sell it versus doing a lease, a PPA, which a lot of solar companies are not going to tell you about. The PPA, you lease it from them. They're going to lower your bill, but at the end of the day, you don't own it. So now when it's time to sell your house, you're going to have to go back to the solar company and try to get out that contract. But in the meantime, they're making money off of you because they're taking your SRACs, they're taking your grant money and all those incentives that's given back to you that goes back to the homeowner. You no longer get. So it's much easier to own it than to lease it. And when you do own it, it's easier to sell it because it adds value to the next customer coming in, and they like that idea.
Yes, that definitely sounds good. So let me ask you this, and you mentioned this a little bit about contracts or whatever, or it's government incentives, and Afisa had alluded to this as well.
Right.
Are there any government? Can you be a little bit specific about some of the government incentives, how they work, or whatever the case may be?
Yeah. So for homeowners and small businesses, they promote installation, renewable energy equipment, such as we do. And also, it cuts costs to the systems, and it saves a lot of money. I mean, we're talking thousands of dollars that can be cut and saved in half just by these state energy that's put in place, utility that's put in place.
Got you. That's good stuff right there. So this next question is for Hafiza. Hafiza, what have been your experiences being an African American female in the arena of predominantly male and white colleagues? What has been your experience with
that? Well, I've been in corporate America for over 20 years, so it's not uncommon to be the only Black female in the room. I have an accounting background, so primarily in finance and things of that nature. So I think for me at this stage in my life, I am very confident and comfortable in what it is that I do and what I bring to the table. So I haven't had any issues. I don't have any like horror stories. I've always been well received. We get the job done. And I think at the end of the day, we all have that common goal. And as long as everyone's respectful, everything works out. And I've never experienced it any contrast to that. It's always been, I'm in professional settings. I keep good people around me, as you can see on this panel we have on the screen. So it's just always been, positive experiences. I think at the end of the day, we all are here to add value and to increase our revenue. We're all community minded. So a lot of the conversations in reference to solar and the companies that we deal with, they all fall in line with that. So I know we spoke about integrity and just bringing that to the table and also demanding that in return. So it's been wonderful for me.
If I could ask you this question also, does the way you approach situations as far as your attitude is concerned, does that help play a part in those successful meetings?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you give what you get, and you get what you give. So I'm definitely of that mindset, reciprocity. So I that's what I put out. That's my intention with anyone that I come in contact with. And, it seems that in those instances, those who don't, resonate with that, they tend to, remove themselves. So it's been good experiences for me.
Got you. So this question is for Brother Harold. Brother Harold, what separates Power Capital Group from its competitors?
Well, I kind of alluded to it earlier when I said that we're able to do solar in any state, all across the country. So it doesn't have to be, like I said, most competitors aren't licensed everywhere. So what we built actually is an ingenious idea by being able to by able to work in every single state, with the top EPCs in the country. So we've been blessed to formulate a system, like I said, that's scalable to able to attack any project that comes our way, and that's unheard of.
Man, that is such a great accomplishment. It really is. Bro, Javon, this question is for you. How has your group, even individually, handled the no's when you've had all the credentials and experience needed to do the job?
So we handle no's like we do, like anybody else handle no's. We keep going until we hear a yes. As Bruce, I'm a big fan of Mark Cuban. I read a lot of his material, and he said, and one thing he says that sticks out. He's like, you only got to be right once, and so we only need one yes. I think everyone on this call, everyone in our group has experienced failure. From a business standpoint. I don't think you grow unless you have. We've started, I've been starting businesses for the past 10, 15 years. Harold and I have done several things together. Harold Marcus and I have done several things together. Harold Marcus and Shaman and I have done things together. And some things we've succeeded at, some things we failed at. And so I think you have to have persistence when it comes to anything you're doing, because anything that's worth having is worth fighting for.
Yeah.
And so if you get a no, which you will get a no, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're selling ice cream or if you're selling solar systems, you're going to get a no at some point. But it's how you respond to that no that matters. And so we understand that there's more than one way to skin a cat. And if we get 10 no's, we go to the 11th and make them say no. We're going to keep going. So, and if they don't do it, then we'll do it ourselves.
Gotcha.
And that's what we've done. We've been told no because I think just like Shaman and Hafiza and Harold and Marcus have said, this is anytime you're in a disruptive industry like we're in what's called a disruptive industry. We're doing a disruptive thing. We are the only 100% Black owned company doing this, and so we are trailblazers.
Yes.
And so everyone's not gonna receive you, but that's okay. You have to kind of make your own lane, and so that's what we've been able to do. And I just wanted to add to what Harold said about EPCs. If you don't know what EPC is, it's 3 phases to solar to the solar landscape, and the E stands for engineering, the P stands for the procurement or the gathering of the materials, and C stands for construction. And so this group specializes in all 3 phases, and that's how we've developed it. And to Harold's point, that's how we scale, because we can do all 3. We can do all 3 exceptionally well.
Gotcha. So Javon, I'm saying no.
Okay.
What is your response?
Thank you for your input. You have a great day. We're going on to the next one.
I was expecting something a little more humorous with that.
No, that's it.
That's it.
So,
Once we know all the laughter's gone.
Marcus, this question is for you. How is it that you guys have such a diverse group of intelligence, expertise, and wisdom, but still manage to work together and get the job done?
I think it goes back to the conversation we were having earlier about personalities and kind of knowing which lane to stay in and to be in. You know, we are all very educated and you know, super business minded people on this call. And we just have a great rapport with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of how we are able to work together to, and you know, as we said, it's not all, you know, everything's not roses and candles and all of that stuff and good cake or whatever. There's some battles that we have.
Yeah.
And you always have those, but we all know that we're all pushing for the same goal, which is success. So I think that's how we all handle it. I think our mix of expertise is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
From you know people that have been entrepreneurs for a good portion of their lives to lifelong attorneys like myself, marketing geniuses, organizers. I mean, I think we have all of the phases together to make a great company and to be very successful. So.
Got you. So if you guys were looking for like a hype man or, you know, somebody public relations like that who can just hype it up, hey, look, hey, I'm your guy.
We are looking for interns. There's no paid positions.
Gotta give them a no.
You gotta give him a
No.
What would you
say, Bruce? What would you say?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So Shaman, this question is for you.
Sure.
Why is ownership so important in this day and age?
I think he's frozen.
Yeah.
Is he? Yeah, it looks like he is. He's a deep thought.
own some better Wi-Fi?
All right, so
on the Wi-Fi, man.
Is that my Wi-Fi?
So Shaman, we're gonna ask you that again. Why is ownership so important in this day and age?
Well, I think it's important because when you own something, you know, it's yours.
Yeah.
It's yours. And you can structure it how you want to structure it. You can move the way you want to move with it. And like Javan said and others said so far, you know, it's a part of winning. And we're all here to win, right? And when you win, you win.
Yeah.
And when you lose, you learn. And I think so far we've had some wins, but we've also took some L's and we was able to learn from that.
Yes.
And being, you know, entrepreneurs and owning something, you're gonna have those days when you're going things just not gonna go well and you're gonna lose. But it's how you take that L. It's what you're gonna take away from it, and you're gonna learn from it. That's gonna help you move on to the next deal. So for us and for me personally, I think you know, owning is the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because it adds a certain drive, and I'm a competitor.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I own something, when we own something, it's almost like we're in charge of our own destiny. Yeah. It's on our shoulders.
Gotcha.
And we have no one to blame but us for that success. So again, having a good team together, having a good group together, and knowing that, you know, it's going to be some L's and some wins, but as long as you learn from them, it builds character, and it helps you build on to the next day and to the next deal. So I believe, you know, ownership is very important.
I mean, you know, I think we can pass the collection plate around on that particular thing you just said. When you win, and when you lose, you learn. So I'm passing the plate
Absolutely.
around virtually right now. That's a word right there.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
And viewers, I hope you got that. That was a iconic statement right there. When you win, and when you lose, you learn. So important for us to learn in these struggles that we go through. Thank you so much for that, Shaman. And
Absolutely.
Hafiza, this question is for you. What role has God played in your business and your personal development as a business owner?
Oh my goodness. I think that's the foundation of everything. You know, if your spiritual house isn't in order, how are you capable of, you know, moving forward? So for me, it plays a significant role in just who I am as an individual. So I think being able to stay grounded and to get centered when there's so much going on, being able to juggle it all when you have, you know, family, children, people depending on you, to have faith and to have that spiritual foundation. For me, it is my fuel. It is what, you know, keeps me going, and we do a lot of going. So I think anytime that you are trying to elevate, to change your circumstances in your situation, you can do none of that without having that spiritual connection, without having that foundation of God in your life. So I think for anyone who is, you know, looking at this or considering, or any young person who is just looking for, you know, the blueprint, that is absolutely the foundation of success in life, regardless of what it is that you're trying to attain. It's the foundation of, it's your humanness. It's, you know, that connection to God is the source of it all. So definitely encourage that.
And we definitely gonna pass the plate around now. Amen. Amen. Good point. We cannot be who we are and do what we've been called to do without the presence of God. That is so important. So this last question is for everybody. Marcus, we're gonna lead it off with you. What advice would you give our viewers who are considering becoming or who may already be, you know, a new business owner?
I would say persistence. You have to be persistent. Like, I think we've all said it on this call that you know you're gonna have some wins, you're gonna have some losses. You want to hope that you have more wins than losses. But even if you have more losses than wins, you got to keep going. You got to keep fighting and keep following your dream. Especially, I had a mentor tell me one time, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So if you have a dream and it's your business, work it, love it, and live it.
That's right. That's right. But Shaman, what about you? What advice would you give our viewers?
I love what Marcus just said, and I would add to that, you know, being passionate, being passionate about everything you do, because it breeds the love. Like, you know, but you gotta fall in love with the process, right? So you gotta be passionate about it and fall in love with the process, and everything will work out.
Right, Brother Javon, what about you? What would you give advice you give our viewers?
So I would say, if you're waiting on everything to be right and perfect to do whatever it is that you've been called to do, you're never going to do it.
Yes.
You're never going to have enough money. You're never going to have enough time. The sun ain't always going to be shining. If you wait until everything is right, you're going to be dead in your grave. So when you get your mind ready to do it, execute, have a plan first. Okay. Seek those in that area who have done what you're doing. I'm a strong proponent of mentorship. I believe that every person should have a mentor who they can lean on, because nobody's an expert on everything.
Yes.
And so in areas where you may be weak in finance, we got Hafiza here. Where areas where you be weak on construction, we got Harold here. In areas of law, we got Marcus here. And knowing the right people at the right time, we got Shaman here. And knowing where the best food at, food is in every in every city. You got me here.
Gotta know where the food is, the good food.
Right. I will find it. If I don't know it, I will go on TripAdvisor and I'll find who got the 5-star reviews and the restaurant appointments. No. So we got people in here so we got experts in every area. And if you think that, just like we said all day, we argue, we'd have disagreements, we don't see eye to eye on everything. If you got to have people who are going to be yes men and have what they call groupthink, you're never going to succeed. You got to have people who are going to challenge what you think, and you got to be able to articulate it in a respectful manner.
Yeah.
So doing all that, and even when all those things are right, you're going to still have L's. And as Marcus said, and as Shaman said, persistence, professionalism, that's what's going to end up paying off in the end.
Gotcha. So, Brother Harold, what advice would you give our viewers?
Oh, where should I start? So I think the first step is make a plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first step. A lot of people just jump out and say, hey, I want to start a business. I want to quit my job. I want to do this. I want to do this. I tell everybody it's hard. It's not easy. Everyone can't do it. Everyone's not built to do it. But if you do want to do it, you definitely must have a plan in place.
Mm-hmm.
Like Javan said, it's people that have done businesses already. Ask them questions. Find out as much information as you can before you spend any money.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, like they said, persistence. I think I've spent over $1 million before I made $1. I've spent over $1 million before
Say it again, Harold. Only they heard you in the back.
Trying to get them to say pass the plate around, but I guess
pass the plate around, everybody. He needs some money.
Everybody needs some money.
That's what you call a subliminal request for some money. You should have said it with a sad face, though.
There we go. Yeah. But my point is being persistent. Like you're gonna lose money, you're gonna lose sleep, you're gonna lose time. It's things that's gonna happen. But you must be persistent, and you must stick to your plan. The key is creating a business plan. Most people of color, we don't create business plans. We just go and do the business rather than create the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then not following the plan is another issue. So you skip steps. You go from step 1 to 28, and then back to 3, and then 4, and then wonder why your business didn't work. You must do the steps. You must be in place. You must have a bank account. You must have active LLC. You must have things in order, a DUNS number. You must have your credit correct. You know, it's a lot of things that you must have to be successful entrepreneur. But once again, my theory is speak to someone that has done it before. Like I'm building a house. Like I'm not just gonna go build a house, but I compare business to building a house.
Yeah.
So you think it's just extremely ridiculous for someone who never built a house before to just go out there, get some wood, order some wood, and just start building a house, and they have no clue on what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's the analogy I use for building a business. The same exact thing. Like Marcus said, like Hafiza said earlier, the blueprint. You must have your blueprints. You must have your things in order, things to follow, what to put here, what to put here, what to put here. And order is definitely what you must do.
And I just want to reiterate 2 things that you said that really stood out to me, and things that I'm working on myself personally. You mentioned the fact that you got to have your credit together. Viewers, I hope you hear this. If you are trying to start a business, make sure you have your credit together. That is a major, major key. And the other thing is following the steps. That was a key thing right there. So viewers, I hope you guys got that. That is so important when you're starting a business and want to maintain it, because sometimes it's easy to start, but you can't maintain because you don't know the steps. So I'm glad you brought that point up, Brother Harold. And lastly, Sister Hafiza, what is your advice for our viewers?
I think, everyone else definitely touched on the key points of, being successful and how to move forward. I think tapping into whatever your gift is and first identifying that. You spoke about calling. A lot of times what your calling is what you're naturally gifted at.
Yeah.
So really taking the time to understand what that is about you. And it might not be like some people are good at cooking. Some people might, be good builders. It might be relationships, and not to underestimate your network and your net worth are connected. So that's another key point of who you surround yourself with, the connections that you make. If there's something that you are passionate about, with social media, before it was we only had connections to those who were in our immediate circle, connected in our community. Right now, we're connected to the globe.
Yeah.
So you can really, do your research, see who's out there in those fields that you are passionate about, and make those connections. Reach out, message them, follow them. And sometimes you do have to invest in some mentorship to get that one-on-one. But, who you surround yourself with, your network and your net worth have a real connection. So, being mindful of that and creating that environment around yourself so you can succeed.
Guys, listen, you guys have dropped nothing but solid gold nuggets today. Nothing but solid gold nuggets. And Shaman, I heard that you were a amazing basketball player a few years ago. You guys hit nothing but net on this one right here. I'm telling you, this was a powerful, powerful podcast. Viewers, I hope you guys have truly, truly been blessed by what has been said today. And please, please, please make sure that you guys look up Power Capital Group. Brother Harold, can you please give us contact how to reach you guys via your social media pages or whatever, how you guys go about it?
So I'll start with the phone number. Is 301-660-SAVE. SAVE, 301-660-SAVE. They also can email us at contact us at Power Capital Group. And that's Power, Power, Capital with an O, CAPITOL Group, GROUP.com. Also, they can follow us on Instagram at Power Capital Group, and Facebook is Power C Group. To be able to.
So, viewers, you guys have heard how to contact them. Please, if you're looking at solar, you're looking at changing, if you just want to find out some information so that you can make a good, conscious decision, please contact Power Capital Group. All these guys are very, very able and capable and ready to help you to get on your journey. So, guys, listen, I want to give you all a hand of applause. Thank you so much for coming on the shop. You guys have truly blessed me. You really have. You really have. I thank you so much. Me and Jovan constantly stay in contact on a regular basis. So, guys, you guys are might as well be my family too, because as much as I talk to him and we talk about what y'all got going on, so y'all my family too. So, so as far as that job concerned, I know I'm already hired.
100%.
Well, Bruce, don't forget, we got some swag for you. We're gonna send you a sweatshirt,
okay.
Power Capital Group shirt, so that you can market our stuff. We're gonna get stuff for you to market yours as well. There you go, Harold.
Y'all see that Power Capital Group, guys. Please, please, please make sure you reach these guys. And Jovan, don't forget to send me the sizes of everybody so I can send you guys my stuff as well. Again, thank you. God bless you, viewers. Hey, y'all know how I like to end my podcast. I end every podcast with a motivational thought or quote. And that motivational thought today is, I had to make my own living and make my own opportunity, but I made it. Don't sit down and wait for opportunities to come. Get up and make them. That's Madam C.J. Walker. That's not mine. It's Madam C.J. Walker. I hope this inspires you. I hope this really gets you on your way. I hope you call Power Capital Group. Viewers, I hope you got what you were looking for today. Decide, commit, and resolve.
Yeah.